Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to stately Vaughan Manor. And today we're going to be talking about some classics. So yesterday I had a video that I put up about Westerns, how I want to put some Westerns into my reading for 2022 and beyond. So I got this big box of Westerns I was talking about yesterday that I'm going to slowly be going through. And now I'm going to be talking about the classics that I'm going to be reading in 2022 and probably beyond. I mean, next year is already the year of the mammoth, so I've got a lot I'm planning on reading. Too much for 1 year, I'm sure. But these are the classics that I want to either read for the first time or revisit. So these are the first ones I'm going to be getting to, most likely. I'm going to start with the Penguins first. I've got my penguin tie on. I'm all prepared. So this book is stupidly out of print. This is Cicero's letters to Atticus. Of course, I've read Cicero's letters before, but never this volume. This is all of Cicero's letters to Atticus, which is really historically valuable because we know a ton about Cicero because so much of his writing has survived. And he wrote a lot about himself, his life, and his world in these letters. So, of course, I'm really looking forward to reading this. I'm surprised I haven't read it all by now. So, Cicero's letters to Atticus. Important stuff. Reprint this, Penguin. Can't believe that's out of print. At least this one's in print. You know, when I was a kid, I loved that film, Jason and the Argonauts. So, you know I want to read this one. This is Jason and the Argonauts by Apollonius of Rhodes. And what a beautiful cover that is. That's fantastic. So, definitely going to be reading that. In this one, 3 Men in a Boat and 3 Men on the Bummel by Jerome K. Jerome. I watch the channel Book Time with Elvis, which is a magnificent booktube channel. And Mark at Book Time with Elvis is always talking about this because it's his favorite book. So yeah, I'm going to be reading this. I might not even wait till next year to read this, but definitely going to read that one. Now this next one, when I started my booktube channel, I did a foolish thing. And I made a video called The 20 Greatest Novels of All Time. Yeah, I think that's what it was called. Which is a dumb thing to do. And even dumber because that's the video that everybody has seen from my channel. I think it's got like 4,000 views or something. I mean, I don't normally come close to that on anything, but just because of the title, everybody's seen that and have critiqued it quite harshly. And one of the critiques I get for that dopey video is that this isn't on it. Gustave, I don't know. Flaubert, I can't pronounce anything. Madame Bovary. Flaubert is Madame Bovary. And when I get that critique, I'm like, really? Is this one of the 20 greatest novels of all time? I read it when I was in my 20s, so maybe it is. So I'm going to reread this one and see what I think. Maybe it should be in there. I am not going to make an updated version of that video, though. This one is an H.G. Wells novel that I have not read. I can't believe there is one. There's actually a couple, and this is one of them. This is The New Machiavelli by H.G. Wells, which has a pretty good reputation, I believe. It's supposed to be a really good book. It sounds great. About a liberal MP who runs into some trouble. So this is supposed to be, like I said, a good one. It's bigger than a lot of his books. One of his social novels, of course, not one of his science fiction novels, which is probably why I haven't read it yet. So yeah, The New Machiavelli. Can't wait to get to that. And this next one, I really can't believe I have not read yet because it's from one of my favorite writers, Fyodor Dostoevsky. This is Demons, also known as The Possessed, I believe, this novel. I can't believe I haven't read it yet, but I haven't read it yet. So, yeah, Demons. It doesn't quite make it as a mammoth for next year. No, it doesn't make 800 pages. It's like a baby mammoth. It's a little mammoth. So yeah, Demons. Definitely need to get to that. Now this next one, is it a classic? Penguin says it is. I'm also going to do one of these types of videos about my reading plans for 2022 and beyond for horror and science fiction and fantasy. Horror is probably the next one I'm going to get to, but this is a horror book, but it's also a classic, so I'll throw it up in here in this video. This is Thomas Ligotti, Songs of a Dead Dreamer and Grimscribe, which I have not read. I've read a lot of Ligotti in anthologies, but I really have to get to this book. Yeah. Thomas Ligotti, Songs of a Dead Dreamer and Grimscribe. Great reputation, Ligotti. So, and I've liked what I've read from him, so I do want to read that. This is what next one I read, but I read it when I was like 15, maybe even younger. I might have been 14 when I read this. I was definitely in high school, and this is Raphael Sabatini's Captain Blood. I used to love this movie whenever it would come on television, Captain Blood with Errol Flynn. Fantastic movie, man. And so I liked the book as well. I found it at the school library, and it was all drawn on and messed up, but I liked it. So of course I got a copy, but I haven't read it again, and so I have to read it as an adult and see what I think, because of course it's going to seem entirely different now. So Raphael Sabatini, Captain Blood, a swashbuckling masterpiece. And this next one I have read before, but I definitely want to get back to it and read it again because it's been decades. And that is Victor Hugo's, this is Notre Dame de Paris, also known as The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So, what is my neighbor doing out there? He's washing his car or something. You know, I don't know why I let him on the manor, this guy. I'm too kind-hearted. That's what it is. Okay, so that was the... What is he doing? Hold on. Sorry about that. My neighbor was working on his automobile. I don't even know why I allow one of those on the estate. You know, the modern world. I guess I have to make concessions. So, we're going to go on to the Library of America volumes that I'm going to be reading this year. I used to read 6 or 7 Library of America volumes a year before the plague and BookTube all happened at once for me. But I'm going to get back to that, reading Library of America volumes, because I love the Library of America. They make fantastic books. Also, I want to add more crime to my reading. Just like Westerns, I want to add crime, get back into some crime stuff. So a lot of these are that. I'm going to do some of their crime volumes, Library of America. But the first couple of them are not that. This is Ray Bradbury. This just came out. I'm really looking forward to reading this. This has The Martian Chronicles, Fahrenheit 451, The Dandelion Wine, and Something Wicked This Way Comes. So as I read them in this volume, of course, I'll make videos about them. Of course. You know me, I never shut up. But Ray Bradbury, brilliant, brilliant writer who wrote fantasy, science fiction, horror, all of that stuff wrapped up in one. Brilliant author, Ray Bradbury. Really looking forward to that. Another writer I'm looking forward to getting back to is Shirley Jackson, one of my favorites. And this Library of America volume has 4 novels of the 1940s and 50s. Actually, this was the first one that came out. This is Novels and Stories. This is the first Library of America volume that came out. This has The Lottery and Other Stories, The Haunting of Hill House. I have talked about that already on my Sunday Penguin. We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and Other Stories and Sketches. So this is going to be a great volume to read. I look forward to getting to that one. And then I've got the second Shirley Jackson volume. This has 4 novels of the 1940s and 50s, none of which I've read. It says The Road to the Wall, Hangsman, The Bird's Nest, and The Sundial. So I'll be reading all of those for the first time. And now we're getting to the crime. The crime stuff I'm going to be reading from the Library of America in 2022 and beyond. A few of this is going to be beyond, I think. So, crime novels from Library of America. They did a 2-volume set of crime novels. This is the first volume. American Noir of the 1930s and 40s has some great stuff in here. James M. Cain, The Postman Always Rings Twice. Duncan McCurdie just did a book haul recently, and that was one of the books he hauled, and he talked about that. You should all check out Duncan McCurdie. He's one of the reasons I want to read more crime. One of them. So that's James M. Cain, The Postman Always Rings Twice, and Horace McCoy. They Shoot Horses, Don't They? Edward Anderson, Thieves Like Us. Kenneth Fearing, The Big Clock. William Lindsay Gresham, Nightmare Alley. And Colonel Woolrich, I Married a Dead Man. So some good stuff in this first volume. Then we've got the second volume, American Noir of the 1950s. More great stuff here. We've got Jim Thompson's The Killer Inside Me, which is, of course, a classic by now. Patricia Highsmith's The Talented Mr. Ripley. Most people know that from the film. Charles Wilford, Pickup. David Goody's Down There. And Chester Himes' The Real Cool Killers. Good stuff. I want to read all those and talk to you fine folks about them. Now after that, we've got some more David Goody's. They decided to publish a whole Library of America volume on him. And the first one in this book, 5 Noir Novels of the 1940s and 50s, is a good book. It's Dark Passage, which was also a really good movie with Humphrey Bogart. Also has in here Nightfall, has The Burglar, The Moon in the Gutter, and Street of No Return. Some classic noir in here. I believe those were all published as paperback originals. I believe. Could be wrong, but I think so. Before I get to any of that, though, I'm going to revisit one of my favorite writers of all time, Ross Macdonald, because they came out with, Library of America came out with a 3-volume set of his Lou Archer detective novels. And if you have not read Ross Macdonald, read Ross Macdonald, man. He is great. Not only is he a great crime writer, a great detective story writer, he writes real literature, this guy. He transcends any genre. He digs deep into the human soul in his books. So definitely worth checking out. So I'm excited to get to this one. I've read these books before in paperbacks, but it's great to get them like this, and I look forward to reading these volumes. This is Ross Macdonald, 4 novels of the 1950s. This one has The Way Some People Die, The Barbarous Coast, The Doomsters, and The Galton Case. All good novels. Then we move on to 3 novels of the early 1960s. This guy wrote a while, and he wrote a lot of books. So this has The Zebra-Striped Hearse, The Chill, and The Far Side of the Dollar. The Far Side of the Dollar, which was a good book, from what I remember. And then we're going to get to later novels. So this stuff was probably late 60s, 70s. Black Money, The Instant Enemy, The Goodbye Look, and The Underground Man. That was one I remember liking. So, yeah, definitely Ross Macdonald. Fantastic writer. Can't wait to get to him. Good stuff. So, those are the classics and some classic crime that I'm going to be getting to in 2022 and beyond. But these are definitely the ones that are on my must need to read radar, if that's a thing. I guess with me it's a thing. Definitely going to get to those. Just throw them on the pile, man. I've got a lot to read. And next year it's going to be a doozy with all those wild mammoths running around on my reading list. So yeah, there you go. The classics. I will do one of these very soon for horror, if you guys want to watch it. I'll probably do it even if you don't want to watch it. You know me. I can't shut up. Okay, guys. I will see you next time. Have a great day.